Recently, China and Pakistan has moved to United Nations to put up Balochistan Liberation Army or BLA under the UN sanctions list of 1267. But this move was blocked by United States, UK as well as France. Now this is very strange as the same UK has within its domestic policies has declared the same Balochistan Liberation Organization or BLA as a foreign terrorist organization. So why such a complex diplomacy wherein the country, that is United States, is following a different kind of strategy to BLA within their domestic policies, but while coming to the international platform, its statements differ. Hello and welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we will try and answer this question that why is US following a complex diplomacy with respect to BLA? But before we delve into answering such questions, I have an important update to make that Legacy IAS Academy is starting up with a new batch, that's the weekdays batch, commencing from September 22nd as well as 16th of October. Apart from this, there is another weekend batch that is commencing from 4th as well as 25th of October. So for further details, you can call on the number that is mentioned below, that is 9606900004, or click on the link that is mentioned in the description box or scan the QR code. Now, answering the first question, that what is running into news, that United States has declared BLA, that is Balochistan Liberation Organization or BLA, and one of its alias, that is Majid Brigade. So these two organizations has been declared as a foreign terrorist organization by USA. Now why has US done this? Specifically, US has clarified that they have carried out several suicide attacks, several explosive attacks close to the Karachi port as well as the Gwadar port. As a consequence, US has declared BLA as a terrorist organization. But if we look into the diplomatic measure, why would US actually do so? Is also because US has, post the Pahalgam attack, has also declared the TRF, that is the resistance force, as a terrorist organization. This was a move to pacify India. US also wants to pacify Pakistan, and that is why one of the terrorist organization residing in Pakistan, that is BLA, has been declared as a foreign terrorist organization. Now, moving on to what happens when an organization is declared as a FTO. Once an organization has been declared as an FTO, then providing materials or material support, that is through funds or weapons, to this organization shall be banned. Additionally, US monitors the activities all around the world to find out who are the potential organizations that needs to be designated as an FTO. On the other hand, at the United Nations sanctions list of 1267, China and Pakistan has initiated this proposal that BLA should be declared under the sanctions list. That is, this is a terrorist outfit and must be facing sanctions. Once UN sanctions are imposed against an organization, then the assets shall be freezed, travel shall be banned for the members of this organization, there will be an arms embargo to this organization. For example, within the UN sanctions list, we have Al Qaeda, Islamic State of Iraq, and Levant. But why have they not agreed? That is, we have discussed that United States, United Kingdom, and France have stated that they do not agree that Balochistan Liberation Organization or BLA has fulfilled sufficient criteria to be put up under the sanctions list. They say that this is an insufficient evidence to link BLA to Al Qaeda or ISIL, and that is why we will not be agreeing to put it up under the sanctions list. Now, why this complicated diplomatic move by USA? Let's look at the domestic diplomacy. What has US done within its own territory? So, within its own territory, we understood that this has been declared as an FTO, and they have developed the primary reason US states that US must have a very good relations with Pakistan. They say that the entire region of Pakistan has good massive oil reserves, and specifically Balochistan has uranium, rare earth and natural gas, copper as well as lithium. Now, because territorially speaking these regions are within Pakistan, so US is trying to pacify Pakistan so as to keeping an eye on these oil reserves or uranium reserves or rare earth minerals. But moving on to the foreign diplomacy, if this is the consistent reason for US supporting Pakistan, why is it not supporting at the international platform? It is not doing so. That is because it is trying to send a message to the China that we will not be protecting your assets in Pakistan. So BLA has usually targeted the Chinese assets and especially the China-Pakistan economic corridor in and around the region of the Gwadar port. So as a foreign diplomacy, US is trying to send a message to China that we will not be protecting your assets. That is why in the international sanctions list, they will not be declaring BLA under the sanctions list. So is a message that US wants to send to Pakistan also. That they say US is trying to interpret that they will not be fully aligned with Pakistan, especially if your alignment with China is running in the same direction. So if Pakistan and China together brings up a problem, US, as per its current diplomatic measures, will not be favoring Pakistan even in that case. Now, moving on to the Balochistan Liberation Army or Balochistan Liberation Organization. Talking about a small historical background about this organization, they started from the Baloch nationalist movement and they have been seeking greater autonomy. They say that they will be fighting for the complete independence for the Baloch people, which actually started in 1940s, but of late, I would say 2018 onwards, this movement has been strengthened. Why did it actually start from 1940s was because Pakistan was trying to capture the resources of these areas, and in 1948 the entire territory, the four princely states within Balochistan, were annexed and controversially assessed by Pakistan in 1948, and that brings us to the roots of Balochistan Liberation Organization or Army that actually started with Baloch nationalist movement. Now, talking about this population specifically, who are Baloch? Baloch are Sunni Muslims and they reside both in the Iranian side as well as the Pakistani side. If we talk about Iranian side, we know that Iran is majorly a Shia nation. So they being Sunni act as minority in this area. Okay? They are fighting against the exploitation of the resources. And if we talk about Balochistan within Pakistan, this is the most sparsely populated region. Actually, Baloch region occupies 44% of the territorial area of Pakistan, but in terms of population, they have only 7% of the population. Now, why is China getting targeted? Majorly because Balochistan Liberation Army states that China tries to exploit the resources. They are currently aligned with, BLA is currently aligned with the Pakistani Taliban, and they are attacking Pakistani infrastructure and have criticized China for exploitation of resources. As we discussed, 2018 onwards, these attacks have strengthened because China's involvement in CPEC of after 2018 has increased. So with that, we give you a brief background about why is Balochistan Liberation Army against China, against Pakistan, and what is America's diplomatic move towards this organization. With that, we come to the end of this topic. If you have any doubt, please do let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much and all the very best.